blue skies, blue containers of produce, and the singer of blue suede shoes. These are just a few of the True Blue successes at the opening day of the 51st season of the Downtown Farmers Market. Even though Humane CNY does not adopt out animals for gifts, this still affects the shelter. Davison says that animals given as gifts from other shelters often end up at Humane CNY. Others in Eastwood showed that they feel the same way. Just across the street from the Eastwood Community Center polling place are signs encouraging young people to vote and reminders to the overturning of Roe v. Wade. Attendees got to enjoy the sounds of music as they placed their silent auction bids and ate. Lemos conducted the Syracuse Pops Chorus for a performance. Barnell says that music plays a huge part in the Central New York community. Engineering students even have a day where they can collaborate with non-engineering students. An annual flight day is held to allow Syracuse University students to try the simulator. Dunbar says an experienced student serves as a co-pilot. Inside the On-Center Convention Center, ringing bells and Christmas music fill the air for the Salvation Army's 51st annual civic celebration.
While the Department of Parks, Recreation, and Youth program is seeking suggestions for all Southside parks, some of their main areas of focus is for new equipment here at Spirit of Jubilee Playground Park, new playground equipment here at Upper Onondaga Park Playground, new equipment here at Kirk Park Playground, and adding playground equipment here at Sankofa Park.
On Monday, Central New York had its most precipitation in a single day for this year. In the 3 weeks prior to Monday, Syracuse had only seen a quarter inch of rain. This, in addition to late cold weather and frost, has led to many issues for farmers' produce. Sanchez took the bowling ball, ran to the center of the overpass, sprayed the ball with the anti-gravity spray he was to test, and dropped the bowling ball off of the overpass. Smith claimed he was in shock when Sanchez did this.
I simply thought I was providing him with the bowling ball. I had no idea he was planning on testing his experiment right then and there.
The bowling ball fell through the moonroof of Junebug's vehicle, ultimately hitting her in the head, which led to her death. Sanchez was tried and pled guilty to second-degree manslaughter. He was sentenced to 4 to 12 years in prison. Prosecution attorneys stated that despite this case's verdict, they will fight for policy against experiments in public. In Syracuse, Danyell Monk, NCC News.
If anything jumps out at you in the case, let me know. We can get a sample for you.
Sarah Simiel is a self-proclaimed curd nerd. In fact, that's the name of her shop on James Street in Eastwood. Next month, Sarah and her husband Matthew Simiel will be celebrating 1 year since the shop's opening.
Just looking forward to a really exciting 1 year of celebratory cheese.
On any given day, you'll find dozens of different cheeses in the shop. With so many options, the cheesemongers are always there to help answer any questions. However, make sure you never ask what their favorite cheese is.
I could never choose. I love them all dearly, and for different reasons.
Every time anyone asks me that question, I give like 8 different cheeses as my answer.
Owning a cheese shop wasn't always Sarah's dream career. While studying cell and molecular biology at Binghamton University, Sarah helped start a cheese club. This was when she realized that instead of being a surgeon, she wanted to be a cheesemonger.
My parents were, I think, a little like, well, we'll just let this run its course and see what happens kind of thing. And now my family is more supportive than anyone in the world.
Sarah worked as a cheesemonger in Brooklyn until the couple moved to Syracuse nearly 3 years ago. They noticed there were no cheese shops in the area. In March of 2021, they decided to start their own cheese shop, and 1 year later, the Curd Nerd officially opened.
Surprisingly and amazingly, Syracuse has welcomed us with open arms.
On top of running the shop, the couple has also found great success on TikTok. There they create videos showcasing some of the different types of cheese around the shop, as well as making charcuterie boards.
The Curd Nerd TikTok page has nearly 100,000 followers, and the videos have amassed nearly 600,000 likes. The most watched video on the page has over 3.5 million views.
I was like, who is gonna watch me cut cheese? And then the answer is a lot of people will watch you cut cheese on the internet.
With daily visits from locals and TikTok fans alike, customers make sure the Curd Nerd remains the big cheese of Syracuse. In Eastwood, Danyell Monk, NCC News. From outside and inside his office, it's easy to tell that Syracuse University professor Les Rose is much more than just a casual music listener. Like many music fans, one of Rose's favorite aspects is getting to hear his favorite artists live.
Some of my favorite moments ever in life have happened at a concert.
Throughout his attending of over 1,300 concerts, the process for buying tickets has changed. The website Ticketmaster is the current most common way. Rose recalls being confused one of the first times he purchased tickets through the website.
I just remember staring at like a $15, $20 ticket for a decent band like AC/DC or whoever, and suddenly there was $4 or $5 in a fee back then. And I'm thinking, how can they charge so much? That's almost a fourth of what I'm paying for the show.
And since then, those fees have skyrocketed. Ticketmaster handles ticketing for approximately 70% of events in North America, including central New York venues like the JMA Wireless Dome and the Landmark Theater. This means anytime a fan wants to go to events at these venues, they're paying extra towards the venue, the ticketing company, and technical processing. Syracuse.com reporter Jeff Herbert says fans from around the country feel that their hard-earned money is wasted on these fees.
They don't realize how much a ticket actually costs at the beginning of the transaction, and it feels like a ripoff to some fans because they end up paying 25, 30, or even 50 to 75% more than what they were originally planning on spending for the ticket.
In New York State, it's law that ticket sellers must be transparent with their ticket prices. This means that the total cost, including service charges and fees, must be disclosed before a ticket is actually purchased. For example, right now I'm buying tickets for a documentary premiere at the Landmark Theater. The cost shown on the screen is $28.30. However, if we look a little more closely, we'll see the ticket itself is actually only $20. That additional $8.30, that's added fees.
Ticketmaster has come out in support of a proposed Fair Ticketing Act, a federal law requiring showing added fees before purchase nationwide. However, this is no guarantee that the fees themselves would be lowered. Herbert says it seems like Ticketmaster is trying to generate good PR for themselves, since hiding added fees before checkout has benefited them.
The ticketing companies, including Ticketmaster, have found that when those extra fees are not displayed up front, they're more likely to get the fans to actually complete the transaction if it only appears at the very end of the transaction.
With how complicated Ticketmaster and its fees can be, Rose compares it to a quote from one of music's all-time greats.
Chuck Berry in the day said it best, that if a 45 record is 99 cents and he's getting a penny, who gets the other 98 cents?
In Syracuse, Danyell Monk, NCC News.
Team, are you ready?
Control Shift R!
Team, begin.
This team of students is from Johnstown High School in upstate New York. The costumes they are wearing and the props they are setting up are part of Odyssey of the Mind. For this group of all senior team members, known as OMers, it is their last state finals competition after 8 years in the program. Johnstown OMer DJ Long says having a closely bonded team is a major key to success.
That's the most important thing about Odyssey, is finding a good balance between working hard and having fun.
But what exactly is this unique competition? Odyssey of the Mind is a challenge taken on by grade school students worldwide. Teams of up to 7 students select one of several problems to solve within an 8-minute skit. These skits are required to be made using a small budget, encouraging teams to use items that would typically be considered recycling or trash. The Johnstown High School team has always participated in the problem, requiring team members to make some sort of vehicle.
Usually we go through a lot of trial and error before we even build anything, before we're down there working on stuff. This year we decided, all right, we have to do something else. We have to do something really different that you don't see people doing every day.
The team from Donald P. Sutherland Elementary School chose a different problem, the balsa wood structure problem. Teams are required to design and build a structure made only using balsa wood and glue. As teams perform their skits, weights are stacked onto the structure to see how much it can withstand. Team member Carter says certain shapes can make a balsa wood structure more sturdy.
The structure piece was almost entirely made out of triangles, which was pretty cool. And I can't believe that he made it hold so much weight.
And this team's structure held just over 100 pounds. You may think that adults help these young OMers out, but that would be against the rules. Odyssey of the Mind requires no outside assistance, meaning every aspect of a skit is made only by members of that team. Coaches and parents are only to provide guidance and ensure safety. With the pressures of so many moving parts during a skit, first-year OMer Mallory handles the stress in a fun way.
when I got stretched, I just imagined there was like the crowd was just a million of my best friend, and it was so fun. I can't believe I'm here.
Now, you might assume after a long day of competition that the OMers would be tired and just ready to get their award ceremony over and done with. However, that's simply not the case at the New York State Finals. As you can see behind me, there's a huge dance party that is the highlight for many OMers every single year.
As the OMers dance, play, and even trade pins, the final scores slowly start to make their way in. Scores are calculated based on aspects like the overall skit, creative style, and how teams solved their problem. And finally, the judges announce the winners.
Third place, Johnstown Junior Senior High School.
From here, it's off to World Finals, this year being held in East Lansing, Michigan, and then off to life's next problem-solving challenge, college. In Syracuse, Danyell, NCC News.